Hello everyone and welcome. I just wanted to say I apologize for not uploading a video over the weekend. I got, again, a little lazy and I was busy with homework from school. But today, well, I have a little bit of time before I need to go do a bit more homework. I'm going to teach you your first Braille lesson. So lesson number 1 is what is Braille. So what I have written here in front of me, I did this ahead of time, is Braille is basically a 4-digit code or number code, which basically looks like a die, kind of like when you have on the one that has the six dots. So when you going to start Braille, this is basically your basic foundation for it. This Braille cell is what guides you in order to make the various letters and words and even numbers. So the basic foundation of the code is called the Braille cell. So I have one here. Yes, I do. So this, and I have a handheld one in my hands now, in case those who can't see it. And so when you start out with this, you need to understand how these 6 dots are used in order to create letters and words and numbers, etc. So when we start, it's going to start on the first top left-hand corner, and you're going to go down. So 1, 2, this middle one, 3, then the top hand right corner, 4, 5, and 6. So it's initially basically, like I had said, kind of like when you have a die and you know how it usually has 6 sides. So it basically looks like the one that has the 6 dots on it. So when you start out, and I will show you on the next page, when you start out writing Braille, you will use this again as your foundation, because it is a guide so that you may structure the words, or the letters. In this case, we'll start with the letters. So we know that this Braille cell has 6 dots, starting from the top left hand corner going down, 1, 2, 3, top right hand corner, 4, 5, 6. Now when you begin writing letters, you have to use this same Braille cell next to each letter so that you can familiarize yourself with the specific code. So for example, I'd written this here. You start out, let's say for example, you start out with the letter A. I don't know why I scratched that out, but whatever. You start out with the letter A. And the letter A is dot 1. So when you write Braille, or when you're reading Braille, you start out with the Braille cell. And the reason why you start out with the Braille cell is because this is going to be your foundation, which is going to guide you in understanding how the code works. So we know now that dot 1 on its own is, actually I have it written down. Dot 1 on its own is the letter A. So we started with the structure, all 6 dots. Then you start out with dot 1 on its own. And normally in Braille, it is of course textual and not visual. But for those of you who are visual learners, I have drawn this out in order to explain it. So what this is going to look like, excuse the writing, I will explain that momentarily. So what that's going to look like when you literally write Braille is this. So on the top left hand corner, I have the Braille cell. And what I have on the right is a slight, long, lengthy row of the letter A. So when I'm reading Braille textually, and you can do this visually, you slide your index finger from your left and your right, both have to be on the page, and you slide your index finger and you tactually recognize the Braille cell here. And when you start with the letter A, you can feel that it is the first dot. So in order to tactually remember this, I would either prefer that you physically draw out the Braille cell and draw out the first dot next to it, or although I haven't taught you how to write Braille. I will do that momentarily. But when you write Braille, you start out like that. So we know that the Braille cell is the foundation. You can feel all 6 dots. And as you slide your fingers across, your index finger like this, across the page, dot 1 will be on the left-hand corner, and you will recognize that this is A. It goes all the way across. So, there's something I wanted to also explain to you. Here's the difference between writing and reading Braille. Now, in print, how you start out with the left-hand corner with usually like a capital letter, like when you have a sentence like, the dog ran away, for example. So it's the capital letter T, the dog ran away, etc., with a period. Now, you would do the same thing in Braille. You would use a specific dot to indicate the capitalization of a letter, which I will explain maybe in a separate video, and you read it with your index fingers, sliding both of your hands, your left and right hand, across the page in order to read it. So you read it from left to right, just like you would in print. However, when you write Braille, now this is only if you are using what is called a slate, which is the equivalent of a paper, which is what I have right in front of me, a device that you use with paper in order to write the letter, and a stylist, which is the equivalent of a pencil. Now what this means is you are using it, when you use your slate, again, the device that's similar, basically equivalent to a paper, and stylist, the device that is basically the equivalent to a pencil, when you use it, this specifically, you have to write it backwards. Now, like I had explained before, you read Braille from left to right, but only when you use this device here specifically, you write it from right to left. Now the reason why this is because when you have, although it would take me a little bit, but I can probably do it. When you have, so what you do is you open it up like a book, and then you place, paper right inside it. And when you have paper on the flattened surface, you close it up. The paper will normally have like a little clasping sound to show that it is positioned, and you would begin writing. So you have, and I'm not going to do this now, it would take me a bit, but I can do this on a separate video again and re-explain it. So when you're writing, you start out again with the foundation of the Braille cell, and we know it's the 6 dots starting on the top left hand corner, 1 2 3 4 5 6. However, the reason why you write it from the right to the left is because it becomes inverted. For example, if you were to write Braille from left to right using this device, it would come out backwards. So what you have to do now is you have to write, so the top left hand corner, the dot, let me give you this as a better, don't mind the soap, whatever. When you have a Okay, I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought. I'm not exactly a teacher, but I'm doing this for fun for my channel. Okay, sorry. Okay. Now, as I explained before, the Braille cell itself has the 6 dots, right? Okay. And these 6 dots will be used to make the letters. Now, when you are writing it, you have to start on the right-hand side. Again, because when you punch the holes in here, it will come out on the opposite side of the page and will be read from left to right. So the foundation of the Braille cell is the top left-hand corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you have to write it, instead of the top left-hand corner being dot 1, it's going to be the top right-hand corner. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for example, if I wanted to write the letter A, which I had done previously over here on this separate sheet of paper, I had to write the Braille cell starting from the right-hand corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a dot 1, which would be on the right-hand side, because it would come out being read from left to right, and it would come out inverted. And that's basically the gist of it. I will make a separate video re-explaining these concepts, but for the very first thing I would like you as my students to do is please start out with writing the first letter of the alphabet, which is simply there you are, the letter A, which is dot 1 on the top left-hand corner. So you may draw out the Braille cell and write out the dot, excuse me, and write out the dot 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, dot 1, dot 1, dot 1. So you would actually know, or visually know, the foundation for it, and writing the first letter. I will do a letter. Every letter will be with a lesson. I will do a separate video for the slate and stylus again. I apologize if I didn't explain it clearly. Please let me know. Hey, I didn't understand something. Can you please re-explain it? That's fine. I'm here to help my students and help you guys learn the basics. But I need to start out with the basics in order to help you understand that. So, again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Apologize for not uploading sooner. I hope I explained it well enough and clear enough that you were able to understand it. Again, please leave me your commentary. If I did or didn't, I would appreciate the feedback. Like or dislike, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.